is you have to write and write well. And I know that might seem like a no-brainer. Of course, we have to write and write well, but in this field, it means you have got to know AMA style. And it almost feels strange for me to have to mention this, but you might not only work in AMA style, you might work in APA style, ACS style, CSE style, or honestly, to get really good, there's the essential skills modules out of AMWA and pick those up because just because you have writing experience, just because you like to write, there's basically a genre. It's a genre, medical writing. So I encourage you to have any and all of these at your disposal in your own personal library. So, also, beyond that, you want to know the Chicago style, which is essentially American English. Chicago Manual of Style is the tome for American English that'll answer very specific questions that go beyond some of these other more niche style guides. You'll also want to have a good usage guide. We can get into that. There are many, a lot of people have their favorites. And recognizing that regardless of where you write, American English actually is the global standard for medical writing. So if American English isn't something that you are completely immersed in, like those of us over here, that's all we know. And honestly, some native English speakers, native American English speakers, oh my God, don't even get me started about like how they botch all sorts of things. But so that's not like a ipso facto, but know that getting really good at where prepositions live and just how few adverbs to use, etc. That kind of stuff is really important to know. Now, also you can get certified. So there's the University of Chicago certification. There's the University of California, San Diego certification. I have earned, as I said, the U of C certification, and I have actually been on faculty with UCSD. So I can speak for both of those, and they are rigorous. They are rigorous, and you are going to learn a lot about how to actually do this work. You can also take some tests, right? You can pass your bells, the board of editors in the life sciences, if you're in the editorial space. And AMWA has the MWC, the medical writer certified, if you're in that space. I actually did not pass the bells the first time. I do want to say that I was the 14th person in New York State to have their ELS, which shows how much of a dinosaur I am. And also the MWC, I would not be able to pass because my work has been so specific. I've read the sample questions and it's like, I can't even begin. And it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, but they're hard tests. They're both very hard tests. So just so you know, be forewarned, but they are available and they elevate your status. People in the field recognize these as, you know, that you know what you're doing. The third secret, can you believe we're only on three? Oh my God, this is crazy. Now, all right, if you know, well, basically, this is to become a power user. And when I say that, if you recognize this thing, this banner at the top, if you would just like put a little note in the chat that says, oh my God, throwback machine, whatever this is. It's like, for those of you who do not recognize this used to sit at the top of our keyboards before our keyboards were ergonomic. This used to sit as like a little strip on top of our keyboards. Yes, we have some people that know what this is. Welcome to the Paleolithic Club. Anyway, so this is how I learned how to use a computer. We actually had to format everything through all these different keystrokes without ever seeing what the document looked like until we printed it out. So this is the level. So all these F keys at the top of your keyboard, they actually still work. They actually still do all of these things, believe it or not, even though they have all these other things that they do now. If you hit Control or Alt or Shift, you can get them to do this stuff. So fascinating, isn't it? So this is what I mean by being a power user. You need to know your software. This is one of those strange differentiators that nobody wants to think about, especially when you've got a higher degree. It's like, that's secretarial, that's administrative work. I don't care. It's like, if you want to be highly paid and just it's kind of amazing to know how to streamline your work. This actually expedites how you can get your projects completed. So knowing all the things about MS Word, not just that styles exist, but knowing how to create styles, knowing about PowerPoint, not that master slides exist, but like how to use master sides, how to use Visual Basic to actually adjust some of the spacing. If you've noticed my slides, they don't jump around. That's because I'm a power user of PowerPoint. Yes. So there's this kind of stuff that will separate you. I actually had a client who is a reviewer for NCI grants. And she said to me once, a couple of years ago, she said, I know when you're working on a grant, Hope, because the way that that page is laid out, that is Hope Lafferty. So I have this editorial layout style because I use Word in a certain way that this client has benefited from, that she saw somebody else that she was reviewing benefiting from, that we didn't even know. Again, weird legacy, but kind of cool to know that that is a differentiator, right? Something memorable